Hello, and
Hey!
it's a great day.
Yes,
Thank
it
you so much
is.
for tuning in. Welcome back to Outsourcing and More. And you have Francis here.
And my name is Penny.
And today we have a very interesting topic.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So it's a topic that, certainly can apply to, both businesses and individuals. So if you're tuning in, if you a, if you are, if you are a hardworking individual, uh, this is something for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And our
Yes.
topic today is
Burnout.
loading.
Yeah.
We
Because
didn't discuss
the
that.
title is supposed to be work burnout. So
Work burnout.
Burnout, yeah.
Work
Because
burn-
you can be burned out by other things in your life.
Yeah,
But this
life,
is specifically
life in general.
Yeah, life in general. I don't want to do life anymore. Careful.
Okay, so burnout. I mean, I think we've heard everybody throw the word around.
Yes.
Um, either jokingly or I've had some serious conversations about burnout, mostly with myself.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Anyway, drawing from personal life experiences, have you experienced burn? I mean, how do you define burnout even? Like, actually, let's start with that.
Um, Burnout. I think you define it as you're physically and mentally and emotionally exhausted by everything that you're doing.
Yeah. You know how like if you're on your regular day, you get you give your 100%.
Yes.
And then you replenish. That's the word.
Yes.
You replenish, like weekends allow you
Yes.
to replenish. Family allows you to replenish. But sometimes
Not always, but okay.
Yeah. Kids, watch this. Like, you just said there. Never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah. But that basically you replenish, and
Yes.
that gets you the energy to go another day. It's your whatever your Milo is. To get the day going. But then again, there are times when things just keep piling up,
Keep piling up.
and it just exhausts you, and
You
even
know
your
that feeling
reserves.
that you need to be constantly on top of things? Or if
Yes.
you drop one ball, everything.
Everything starts dropping, and
Yeah.
sometimes you can't see like an end inside.
Yeah. That too.
Yeah, and that can be, I mean, honestly, it can be mentally draining. So when you say you're burned out, that means you couldn't, like, for the life of you, pull yourself together
Yeah.
for another day.
Yeah.
And
I think for me, when I'm experiencing burnout, I get snappy. Like, for example, if I'm just physically exhausted, like
Yeah.
after climbing, and I've kind of pushed myself so
Mm-hmm.
much. Once I get home, I'm very snappy. Like, I don't want people talking to me. Which is the same with work, right? If you're
Yeah.
so exhausted, sometimes you just don't want to deal with people.
yeah, or deal with anything. Actually, I think I mean, when there are times when like you just haven't had your coffee yet, or you had a day before coming to work. The thing about, like, don't talk to me, maybe not yet.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, because
But if
you
it's-
just need a moment
Yes.
to pull and collect yourself. But
But burnout is like it's always happening. Like, you're always exhausted. You don't want to talk to people every single day.
it's a table flip moment.
Yes.
Definitely. So I mean, maybe I could I because I totally relate. I keep harkening back to this one very, very specific period in my life when, because I've always been like, this is my game, this is my thing. Like,
Yes.
I could do it. Like, there was a time when, back when freelancing was all the rage. I think 14, 15, 16. And thing is, you had friends who are freelancing. You're always boasting about them. You have a job and then a side hustle because everything's
Yes.
like because I was in the gig economy, so I never really put a lot of store into your main contract, and then you take a
Other, yeah.
secondary contract, right? So so I remember it was also a time when I was dealing with, I was really trying to pay off my
Yes.
I was trying to pay off my condo. And the thing is, I was in a bad deal
Mm.
with that condo because I couldn't get a bank loan approved. So
Mm.
I was paying,
From your paycheck, yeah.
no, I mean, yeah, definitely from my paycheck, but I meant I was paying that, like, that internal in-house, which is like a
Mm.
bad
But yeah.
deal. So, if ever you're planning on taking a house, make sure that you have a bank loan ready to be approved. But like I said, it was like if I paid this, I would have paid twice over in terms of like how much the contract is worth. So I was really pushing to both pay the monthly rent and at the same time pushing to save up money to pay it all off.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember at that time, I did the possibly the stupidest of all uh, ideas. I had a contract that was paying really well. It was U.S. hours, and I decided to take a secondary contract that was Australian hours. So I would work from 9 in the evening until 6 in the morning for the U.S. contract, and then my Australian contract starts at 4 in the morning. So there was a 2 hour
Yeah.
overlap until I think 10 or 11 in the morning. So I only had until 1 or 2 if
Mm-hmm.
I remember correctly. So I only had between 2 p.m. to 9
To sleep
to sleep
and do everything else.
and do everything else.
Mm.
In the meantime, I was at my crabbiest. I was at my I was snapping at everybody, like
Yeah.
I wake up, I expected like coffee here, snack here. I was also my fattest. I
which
just,
is actually a sign of burnout.
you're
If,
just
if
like
your habits are changing,
I was
you know,
eating my feelings away,
Yeah.
and
which I think we can all relate to.
if you've ever eaten your feelings away, yes, that's what it looks like. And there was at a point where I knew people around me were walking on
Mm.
eggshells because
Yeah.
anything that didn't happen my way,
Yes, I know this.
you just
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. You just snap.
that's it. You wake up, coffee. Oh my god, and like I said, I remember it was so bad that there was also a point where I know when I think it was the Australian contract that ended because eventually you can't really. So here's the thing, you also really can't maintain that for
Yes.
a
No.
long
No, you can't.
period.
Yeah.
I think it ended because I got fired because I was already dropping balls back then. And then I realized like no, this no. I look
Yeah.
when you look at yourself in the mirror, thinking that's not the person I am.
Yeah. That's
Y-
also not the life that you want to live.
It's also not the life I wanted to live. People are like, oh my gosh, he's so amazing. He's holding 2 contracts. He's
Yeah.
paying this and that. But I look at him like, no, it's not the person I wanna be. It was so bad that I remember I gave everything up
Mm-hmm.
because I think at some point I did get to that point where okay, pay
Yeah.
everything. I think I got the goal.
Yeah.
But when I gave it up, I took some time for myself and then I just did some side hustles. Workaholic galore talaga.
Yeah, we're self-confessed workaholics, and I
Self-
think with burnout, you kind of only realize that you're at that point when it's a little bit too late
Too
already.
late, yeah.
Yeah.
You look at yourself, you're no longer the person you know you are.
Yes.
And you kind of have to start apologizing for everything that you started doing because you don't really see it while it's happening.
Yeah,
You
while it's
just
happening, because you're just, I need to do this,
mm,
and then sleep, and then this, because that's what you focus on.
yeah, and you just had to like. I mean, I was singularly focused on doing it. Like I said, the only problem was when I stopped,
Mm.
and then life became slower, a lot slower, and that's when you realize that parang, uh the
Oh,
coffee
life
wasn't
can be
here.
slow.
Yeah, the coffee wasn't here. It's okay. I'll make the coffee myself. I was like, huh.
Huh? Huh?
I wasn't mad. I
Yeah.
wasn't, I wasn't snapping at everybody, at anybody, and the reminder of who you were the past few, I think, year. Oh my God, the past year was almost like, I couldn't
Like
comprehend that
why?
you actually got to that point.
But you do. I mean, this is the reason why, because my own experience is because I also took on more. Took on more. Same with you, right? Like taking on
And
more
you remember
contracts.
that this was more recent
Yes.
because it was no because it was more recent
Yes.
than my I already went through it.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah,
when
you
you
did.
said I'm going to do this, and I was like,
It,
you knew I
yeah.
made the face.
I knew that I was burning out because I was already like praying before I go to work that I was going to have a good day. I prayed before going to work, and then at the end
It's
of the
not
day,
like the normal
I'm about to
prayer.
break down.
And it's not like the normal prayer like, God, please let me have a great day. It's
You
more
know,
like,
please, please let me have, please, less stress for today.
mm,
Like a good Our Father, all
all I
those, all those
all
prayers.
I want is to get through the day without
Yes.
anything bad happening.
And you remember, there were moments that we were trying to have a conversation, but then I'd say to you that I only have like what 5 minutes
Oh my
before
God,
my next meeting,
she was she where
and I
you'd
was really
normally
like,
have conversations like, "Hey girl, what's up?" She'd actually start the conversation with Francis. I have a hard stop.
I have a hard stop,
Hard stops. No.
and it's like, come on, get it on, get no, just keep.
And
Get to the point. Get to the point.
and it take a while to warm up to conversation, like getting to the point. It's just because you need to have a good story. I had to,
Yeah.
but like I said, I understood. I
Mm.
hmm, I wasn't exactly trying to talk you down, but I
Mhm.
was telling you like, recognize the signs when you
Yeah.
need it to be
Oh, there were
over.
moments that I cried.
You I can't. You're like, I can't do this.
No, because it was really too much.
Yeah.
And because we're self-confessed workaholics, right? And I'm
Yeah.
also a self-confessed. If I have a goal and I want this, then I will go for it,
Go for it.
right?
Yeah. I mean,
And
it's
so
important.
yeah,
It's
but
still, it's still important.
you forget that when you're in that journey of getting to your goal, you still have to take care of yourself. So that's the one thing that I forgot.
Yeah. Anyway, so I guess the natural progression to this conversation is, how do you prevent burnout,
Mm.
or if you have to live with, because things cause burnout. So
Yeah.
let's just go back to the natural way of things. You is it work? You go to work, or your regular, your day, your life, for example. You come in with a certain charge, like your phone comes
Yes.
in at 100%, right? But your 100% stays 100% if it's, like, rarely used. Like, if it's on
Mm.
standby,
Yeah.
it's gonna stay at 100 for about a good hour or
Yeah.
two before it starts discharging, and then it could last to what, 2-3 days if it's unused. So if you're the phone, you use it for regular phone calls, chats, video chats, it might drain at the end of the day. But if you
Mm.
use it for calling and then nonstop
Reels.
reels,
Non-stop scrolling
reels.
through reels.
Thank you, Instagram, for draining my battery constantly. Yeah, reels, YouTube
Yeah.
videos, things that consume a lot of power. It drains
Yeah.
so fast,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that's when you have to realize, like, if I want my battery to last longer, I have to use the phone more responsibly.
Yeah.
So I guess I like that analogy. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep it. But at the same time, you can't keep pushing it to its limit.
Yeah. You can't go 100 miles per hour every single
Every
day.
single day. You
Okay.
have to find yourself at natural stopping points, because you just can't keep taking on
Yeah.
more work or more responsibilities than you can handle.
Mhm.
Sometimes I think this is a problem for go-getters. If you're
present.
I.
Hi.
If you're a self-confessed go-getter, you just think that okay, I can. And you talk about a project. I know somebody who is like this. It's like you're talking about a project, and then we say, start delegating the work
Yeah.
responsibilities. Okay, so who does it? Okay, I can do that. And then who does this?
And then the
Okay, and
entire list becomes
becomes
his to-do
his to
list.
do. Let me just name this person. His to do it.
Well,
It's
I
like
do that too.
yeah,
Sometimes I do
and
that
that's
too.
it. And then you tell that person, yes, yes, on any given day, if you break down all of these tasks, yes, you can do them,
Yeah.
all of them. But that's not the point. The problem is that if your project is time bound,
Yeah.
you can't just be the one person to do all of them
Yeah.
because if
Yeah.
you're doing all of them for the entirety of the task, no.
Especially if most of those tasks, their deadlines fall on the same day or the same hour.
Exactly. You have to keep that chart of like how long does it really take to do this. You can't just say yeah. Not because it's doable and you can do it doesn't mean you have to be the one
Yeah.
person who does it.
I think when I think about this, do you remember the first few years of Virtua where we were also working during Sundays? Like there was no off day for both of us.
And for a time it was fun.
for,
We're not gonna
for a
lie. For a time it
time,
was
it
fun
was fun.
because we were getting our business. We were getting our business off the ground,
Mm.
and there's really no other. So we didn't have working capital.
We didn't have working capital. Well, we kind of didn't really in our model, but we also didn't have people.
Yeah.
We didn't have a team.
It was
So
it was
everything
us. Everything was between the two of us. So it was like, so who does this? Who does this? And then, everything. I mean, honestly, when you're setting a business up, uh, it can be very exciting to be the one person to
get it off the ground, do all
yeah,
of those things,
and you can
establish
literally
it.
say that if you look at this, I had something to do with that, and I had
Yeah.
something to do with, I had something to do with that, but it was at least in our experience, it was easier at that time because it was just the two of us, and we were fueled by the excitement of
Yeah.
getting the business up and running, and then making a name for ourselves.
Yes.
That's very natural, but we also understood. Now, from a work burnout perspective, this part took us a few years, but we
Mm.
started missing life, life in
Do you remember
general.
when we switched to we don't want to be contacted during Sundays? We don't want to talk about work during
Mm.
Sundays. I don't remember the actual switch. I think it kind of coincided with me having several things going on. Several things going on
Yes.
that I didn't really want to talk about work
Yeah.
over the weekend.
And there was that like unspoken understanding that we've shifted to a point where let's keep our Sundays to ourselves to
Mm.
refresh and recharge.
Yes.
And that's fine. We weren't really beholden to stakeholders at that time. I
Yes.
think I think if at that time we had
Yeah.
an
If we had
investor come
yeah.
in, then
We
the
might.
safer choice would have been to hire people right away.
Yeah.
But since we understood that was the case, then you just had to make do.
Mm.
So work burnout, it's a real thing. We already know that.
Mm.
In your case, like if you're a solo freelancer,
Solopreneur.
solopreneur, yeah, you'll find that you think you have to be responsible for all of those avenues, and let's be real, in some cases there's no other solution.
Yeah.
So what's more important at that point is to recognize the signs of burnout,
Burnout,
and to
yeah.
actively work on how to prevent it, because face it, if you're the one person responsible for your work, the burnout could have dire consequences.
Yes. Yes.
Very dire.
Your health is going to be affected.
Oh, we haven't even started talking about health.
Yeah.
In my case, what I was thinking about is like when you reach that table flip moment, like, I don't want to do this. Yeah, and because the funny thing is, from the outside, people don't really see the effects of the
Yes.
burnout. They just see you constantly working and then doing your
Oh, they
thing.
do
being
because you're being snappy at them.
No, no, I mean from the snappiness. You're talking about the closest people, but the
Ah, yeah.
people on the
Yeah,
like
outside
outside
of
of that
yeah.
circle, it's different. They just see a person who's like just
Hustling.
hustling. This is doing what's necessary,
Mhm.
getting your coin. but and then sometimes they don't understand. Like at some point, you just snap, and then you just, I don't know, disappear, or stop doing the things that you want. Like, what happened? Like, what happened? He was doing so well,
Yeah.
or that it's more the case that they don't see when the burnout already ate you.
Yeah. They only see that final moment.
Yeah, they only see the good things, like working, and even if, especially if you're posting your hustle online, you're like getting my coin or new client or katas ng
It's got the freelancing.
katas ng freelancing. That's the only thing that you see, but you really don't see the darker side of things and how you're being affected. So when you stop, everything stops.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's the thing that you have to understand. If you're
Yeah, and not everyone has that freedom to actually just stop, right?
Yeah.
Especially
I mean, that's
people
the
who are
point.
living paycheck to paycheck, right?
Paycheck to
You can't
paycheck. Not
stop.
even paycheck to paycheck if you're living from goal to goal. Because you don't have to. Paycheck to paycheck implies that you're, well, not poor.
No, because you can't stop working because you need that next paycheck.
Yeah, and
To fund your
sometimes you
lifestyle.
you wall yourself in that corner. When you say paycheck, you could have an extremely large paycheck but still live
Yes.
paycheck to paycheck because I don't know, like took out a housing loan, a car loan,
Yeah.
educational loans for
Depending on
kids.
how you use
Oh.
your money.
You bought new properties and stuff. So you're maximizing all of that. And I think that's still the same thing. It goes back to the analogy of the cell phone. You started maximizing everything that your phone can do. And the problem is when it becomes low bat, you're stuck.
Yes.
You're stuck for a certain period where you can't do anything.
So for you, like both of us, we kind of already recognize that no, this can't keep going on.
This can't keep
right.
going on.
But I think dealing with burnout is really all about balance. Right?
Balance.
Because we all have to work.
Yeah.
We all have to work, but you
Watch
have
out.
to keep some balance
Yeah.
in it.
Watch out for anybody who says sleep is for the weak, or
Well, yeah. Yeah.
who
Sleep is
needs
for the
sleep.
weak.
Who needs rest. Yeah, watch out for those people. They're the ones who are like
Prone to burnout.
well underway.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, let's go back to that part. Is it 100% possible to foresee burnout?
Good question. I believe. No, I don't think you can actually foresee it because sometimes some ideas and some hustles seem like a good idea
At the time.
at the time at the very start, and then once you do it, then you start realizing how much work it actually needs, or how much work needs to get done. That's when you slowly, and because you committed to doing the work, and you have to do all of these tasks. That's when it creeps in.
The excitement is far too tempting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's too tempting to say no.
Yeah.
And then you just say yes, and then you'll realize sometimes way into the thick of it that, oh my gosh, I bit off more than I can chew. I mean, you can't really say I bit off more than you can chew until you're already chewing on it.
Yeah. Sorry, I laughed because you know how we talk, right? Like, well, even with Charo, like into the thick of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
I would say I would say sometimes, I mean, we're not saying that burnout is something that you can 100% avoid. Sometimes you might knowingly walk into something knowing it'll cause burnout, but is it 100% necessary to do it? Yes. Okay, so here's the thing. I think there's been points where I said this is going to eat me alive once the project is in full swing. But one thing is you have to understand that if you look at it from the bigger picture and understand this is okay, so this is going to be very tough, very demanding. It will eat up all of my weekends for 3 months.
Yes. At least it's finite.
Yes.
Finite. There's
Yeah.
a timeline for it.
There's
But
a
if you
light.
keep going on, yeah.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. I guess if that's something that you can knowingly foresee, then it's fine. The burnout can be not limited, but you can sort of like compartmentalize and see na uh there won't there's not going to be a lot of rest, there's not going to be a lot of sleep, but there's going to be an end point to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like even when doing, you're trying to get to a goal, which is, for example, for this one, this project is gonna take 3 months of my life, right?
Mm.
You still need to put in some moments in there to recharge.
Yeah.
3 months is still 3 months.
3 months is still
Still
3 months.
So you still have to put, you know, baked in something in
Yeah.
there to kind of recharge. And it could be as simple as I think, well, right now for us, we don't do Sundays, right? We don't talk.
We don't
Well,
do Sundays.
sometimes we still do talk work on Sundays, but
Actually,
not
we-
as
you talk shop
Yeah,
a tiny little bit.
yeah.
You look at you say, so what about this contract? And then you look at them like,
Sunday. No. I'm
or
covering my
sometimes
ears. No.
but sometimes you're like Sunday. Okay,
Okay.
limited time for
Yeah.
this conversation, and then we will have
Yes.
that conversation.
I think for me, what has been very helpful for me is exercise, because I do it because I wanted to get healthier. But that's also my time for myself.
I try to look for an hour or two each day,
To
where
do reels?
as long as actually I read. You know that I read.
Yeah.
So for me, as long as I can include something that I say is mine, a recharge moment, I can deal with the rest of the day. Like it doesn't matter. Like even if it's just I remember. So even today, even if things, because again, we just have to try to pack in a lot of work in in a 9-hour work week. As long as I can start my day
You mean
2 hours
40,
before
50-hour work week?
my
9
50
hour
hour
day.
week. As long as I can pack in like an hour to just read something that I totally chose, because it feels like
Yes,
that's my
my-
choice
yeah. It's under your control.
to
and-
spend. Like, and I am a slob at that moment. I take a bottle of soda. I think cookies.
Bottle is the
The bottle is the operating word. I get cookies, I get a snack, and I feel like if I can just lie down, read, and then like drink, and then read some more, and then by the time my alarm sets off to say go to work, I'm okay. I can deal with, and then in the morning, if I can just do a few push-ups or workout, I feel like you could
Yeah.
you could squeeze in, because that's moment that you claim as yours.
Yours, yes.
It's something that's within your control, that I choose to spend it this way.
I think if we were talking about like small pockets of time, I think my coffee time is also one of the things that keeps me balanced. Not just because of the caffeine, but it's also
That
my time, like
coffee
you're
time.
coffee
Yeah.
time, like you're sipping. Don't wanna deal with other people first. Right, I mean, and so if people are trying to talk to me during my coffee time, it's please
No.
don't. Please don't. It's do you know, like they say, like meditation and mindfulness is gonna help you, right? My coffee time is my
Is your
version.
meditation?
Is my version of it. I don't like do. I try to, but it's just. I
The
just,
meditation,
Yeah,
actual meditation.
I did.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about nothing is hard.
Yeah, I know. I keep my mind just keeps going everywhere.
Yeah,
Like I'm so used to talking to myself.
Oh
You-
my
you know
God,
that?
this is hard.
You don't have to say. Well, yeah, they do teach that. But yeah, my coffee time is that time. I'm
Yeah.
sipping coffee, trying to calm myself,
Yeah.
trying to not think about anything else.
Well-
But so please don't talk to me when I'm having my coffee.
Yeah, I think that's the truth. Thinking about the coffee, like, Arabica. Yeah, this is calming me down. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
working.
Yeah, it just those few pockets of time.
I wish maybe, because at some point I feel like I'm a better person because of being able to take control of that little aspect of my life, and then being able to prevent burnout.
Yeah.
Because I actively, right now, I know that I actively try to push away anything that would cause burnout. It's just, I think there's a good moment where I look at a project and the first question is, how much of my life will this take from me? but we have the luxury of
Yeah.
doing that now. For you guys, I wonder if there's always a choice. Will you tell me there's no choice?
Yeah.
If anybody can tell me there's no choice, I wish there was a conversation to be had about that, because it took us a while, but now
Mm.
we can actively say. But what if we had this conversation back at that time when I said,
Yeah.
but no, the only thing I need to do is to push on and plow
Yeah.
on.
Because
You know,
that's
because
Sorry,
we're
better.
yeah, because we're at a point in our life when we can say, wala. But if you're out
Yeah.
there and you say, my life is going downhill so fast, I don't know how I can continue for the next month or so. I honestly don't know what the advice would be for me.
Um, if I look back at when that happened to me, I think the good thing was that the people that I work with are very much open into they're very much people
Hmm.
managers,
Hmm.
and so they were very much open, and they value the feedback that you would give them.
Hmm.
And so I was really at the start I wasn't very open about um I'm taking on too much work. I'm dropping, a
Balls.
department, a department
Entire
yeah, and,
departments.
yeah. But I had to say something, and that's when, and it was still like, it was, it's a little bit, it's hard to say to a boss that, I'm doing too much work, that I'm dropping balls already. It's not good for me. But that conversation did happen.
It did happen.
Yeah, it did happen. And
I
so
remember. I remember when it did.
the good thing about the people that I worked with was that they very much they were clear to me
Mm-hmm.
about what they were expecting. That they weren't actually expecting me to do all of it. It's just
Yeah.
that they didn't know where to funnel.
Where
And
the
so
rest would happen. Yeah.
so I actually had the power to delegate my responsibilities to other people. Well,
Well,
that
one
sounds bad.
well one thing though. Just going back to one thing that I think at the younger
Mm.
generation is doing so much better
Yeah, take care of them.
is being aware
Yes.
of their mental, physical health right away.
Yeah,
We call
yes.
them snowflakes, or a lot of late stage millennials or Gen Xers would call them snowflakes. But I think I envy them more about okay.
Because
Uh,
they prioritize balancing and
they
their
would
mental. Yeah.
quit when things get tough, but we had to tough it out.
Yes, we do.
But in their case, it's actually more like, do they have the formula right? That when things get too tough, they just like, no, this is not humanly
Not all of
possible.
them. Not all.
Well,
of
some
them.
are actual snowflakes, maybe.
Yeah, not all of them.
Yeah, but I've seen some of them like make braver decisions. Like it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
When I look at the opportunity, I was like, I would have taken that opportunity and maybe put myself through the burnout. But like I said, I'm a much, I come from a much older generation. I came from like from bosses who would work you to death
Yeah.
and then expect you to do it all over again. Things are, I feel like work environments are much easier now. So I don't know. Maybe I'm talking to the people who would relate to this, but listen to maybe listen
And
to the younger
companies are a little
generation.
bit more different now.
They don't care about killing
you know,
their employees anymore.
yeah, like I've been part of executive meetings, right? And it's at that time it was mind-boggling to
Yeah.
me that they were very much concerned about employee happiness. It
I
was
don't care.
mind-boggling to me because and I admired them for it.
One of our clients is like, we have unlimited leaves within reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, even some of our yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice for us to be able to recognize the same thing, because people take leaves now. We're like,
Mm.
of course we raise an eyebrow a little bit, but okay, if he needs to take a leave, then take the leave.
You do. I do my poker face.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, how's your burnout happening? How's your life coming along?
No, tell us, how do you deal with burnout? Or how do you make sure that your life is balanced, that it's not just all about work? Please do comment. We are very much interested to know.
Yeah, especially if you're like me, who work is work sustains you, but at the same time, if you need to take some time off work, you do another type of work. Because that, again, I mean, at this point, people know what I do now. Like, we have our business, but at the same time, if
Mm.
I'm not working on Virtua, something that calms me is to do a hairstyling gig.
Oh, you really? That
That calms me down. Just to be doing something different, but it's kind of still like
that's
coin. Still gets me a bit of coin, but like I said, that's me. If you have any thoughts or comments, please feel free to, make your thoughts known. If you're reacting violently to this, if you sympathize with the thought, or if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, call our hotline. Charot, we don't no, we don't have one. But
ikaw ba ay
if
nalolongkot?
you feel that there should be a topic to be discussed
Yeah.
about this that we didn't get to talk about, feel free. Like I said, we're cognizant that if we were in a different state of
Yeah.
work life situation, maybe our conversation would be different. So let if you could let your thoughts be known, comment, and of course subscribe. Oh my gosh, that would mean the
Yes.
world to us.
Yes. Please do subscribe to our podcast. We're also in YouTube. Right.
And anywhere where podcasts can be. So you have been listening to Penny and Francis.
This has been Outsourcing
and
and
more.
more.
Tune in
Bye.
next time.